Yeah, good. Great to have you on. He just mentioned there, Sam Parkin, Nathan Teller. What's it like to walk into a club and have a champion of the division you're going to try and get out of this season? What's it like to walk in and see a player like that there?
Yes, it's nice. Obviously, played against Nathan a couple of times last year, and he was one of the top performers in the division for sure. And he's a brilliant lad, brilliant young man who had a really good season. And hopefully we get to continue to work with him for a while, and he can be a big part of it here.
Russell, I wanted to ask you what is it like when you join a club as a manager of a team that's just been relegated? Because you're going to have certain players, aren't you, that maybe feel like they should be in the Premier League and don't want to play in the Championship. Is it hard to get some of them players on board, or have all the players been fine?
Being honest, I had a chat with most of them before I came in the week or so before we kicked off, just to see where they were at, and they've been brilliant. I think I was relegated twice, unfortunately, from the league, so I understand what's going on in the dressing room, or what was going on in the dressing room before we started, and everyone thinks they want to be back in the Premier League, or they should be. The reality is it's not going to happen for everyone. There will be some that end up back in the Premier League, I'm sure of that, with the transfer window being open for so long. But all I've asked from every single one of them is, while they're here, they give everything they've got. We'll give them everything we've got. And they've been amazing, really, considering the disappointment of last season, and the way they've been willing to work and run and give everything they've got, and also take on a lot of new ideas and a lot of information has been, I've been really pleasantly surprised and really pleased with their attitude and the mentality they've got as a group.
That's intriguing what you say there, because my reading of you at MK Dons and then at Swansea was it took a little while to get things going. You've got a certain, for those that don't know, you've got a certain way of playing. It is all about playing out from the back. Alan Brazil would absolutely hate it because he doesn't agree with that style at all. But it takes time. And Swansea, at times, maybe some fans thought they were flirting with relegation last season, but you ended the season unbeaten in 9, winning 7 of them. And your philosophy, I mean, I remember you being asked at MK Dons, when fans were, a bit funny about the results, they weren't happy with the results, and that's understandable from fans. You were asked about a plan B, and you said plan B is making plan A better. And I thought it was just one of the iconic quotes of all time. But you're never going to stray from that philosophy, and at times it might get a little bit dodgy as Southampton are playing out from the back. What's your message to fans if they suddenly get a bit panicky about it?
Well, I think you have to strap in and try and enjoy the ride a little bit. I think like the point is around it's not being stubborn, so we'll be really adaptable as we have been. I think over the last 4 years of being a coaching staff and a manager, and but without losing the core belief of what you're doing or losing conviction in what you're doing. Because I don't know, Gabby, you played and you would have been in dressing rooms where you start off doing one thing and then it doesn't quite work so well, and rather than adapting it a little bit, you change everything, and then all of a sudden no one knows what to believe in, or what to get hold of, or what you're basing your performances on, and all that stuff. So I think it would be. I'm fairly young as a manager. I'm British, so the way we try and play is can be really heavily criticised. I understand that. I think it's much more acceptable if a foreign manager comes in and tries to do that. I don't know why, but I guess that's just the context of the game we're involved in. But I'm here. I'm 37. I'm here at Southampton because I think we have a real belief in doing something in a certain way. That's meant that Southampton have wanted us to come here and try and get them back to the Premier League. So if I'm then going to change that whilst we are here, then that would be madness. So I think it will be different to what the fans have been used to. But so far they've been really brilliant with us, and hopefully they've seen enough in pre-season to be excited about. And there will be some scary moments. Like, I don't shy away from that. There will be some moments that we have to work through and get through together. But we are doing it because we really believe it's the way for the players to maximise their potential, to show what they've got, to enjoy it, for the fans to enjoy it, for us to enjoy it. I want to watch my team and enjoy it from the sideline. And so we put the team out doing something that we really believe in and we really enjoy, and hopefully everyone else will enjoy it. It'll be successful.
You've got a number of players, Russell, that you'd say Premier League clubs will be interested in, or other clubs around Europe. Is there like a cut-off point you'd like where you say, you know what, no more players leave after this? Because you've got to bring in players to replace them, haven't you?
Yeah, I'd love that, but I think it's unrealistic. So I think the transfer window going on for so long is nonsense, and I'll keep saying that. And I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying that at some point, but it just doesn't really suit anyone apart from the clubs with the most finance, and obviously most of them are in the Premier League. And so we'll end up playing a few games, I'm sure, with players that will be here and be in the starting 11, and then at some point probably end up going. I hope that's not the case, but you have to be realistic and honest with the situation. So we're really ready for that, and we're really prepared for that. Hopefully we can keep hold of a few that are attracting real interest, but we have to be realistic as well and accept the situation that a few might have to go to help us, then get a few players in that we really want to help us. So we'll just have to wait and see. I can't control it in that. I control coaching the players and giving them everything we got whilst they're here. And that's all we expect in return. And to be fair, even the players with a lot of noise around them, a lot of external stuff going on, they've been really brilliant. A lot of them are really young men as well, which is not easy when all that noise is going on. Yes. So, real credit to them.
Let's focus on what you can control, because the speculation is out of your hands and other clubs' bids are out of your hands, etc. And even how Southampton respond to those bids might be out of your hands. But does that mean here we are on a Monday and you've got a game on Friday, first game of the season on Friday, and you've got to be ready for it? So you, as an example, James Ward-Prowse, for example, is still with you. I presume he's training with you, etc. Are you planning for that game with him in the team? Is that how it works? Or are you thinking at the back of your mind, hang on, I might not have him, so I've got to plan a different way? You've got to have a plan B in case he's not there.
So we'll plan for everyone that's in the building today. We'll plan for being here on Friday, of course, because who knows what's going to happen between now and then. But also being ready to be flexible and adaptable if anything does change this week, I think. So they're here. They've been great. We'll plan for life with them, and if we all of a sudden end up without them at some point, then we'll be prepared and ready for that. I think that's the best way of doing it, and it's the most we can do, really.
And as well, Russell, looking at the three teams that got relegated, you look at Leicester's squad, still looks strong, especially going forward. Leeds as well, some really good players like Southampton. Is it going to be even harder this season for clubs to get promoted, especially the top two?
I think there'll be more than 10 teams that feel like they have a realistic chance of getting promoted. So I think there'll be teams in and around that got relegated last year, didn't have the season they wanted. Obviously Norwich, West Brom the year before that, that probably didn't have the season they quite wanted last year. Middlesbrough were great, especially, under Michael, the points they picked up. So there's going to be loads. There's going to be so much competition. It's going to be a really interesting and exciting league, I think. And, even the teams that came up and had really good seasons from League One last year, some really big teams, and it'll be interesting. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be really competitive. I think it's going to be... it's going to be really interesting. It'll be different to last season, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, you know that I'm a Peterborough fan. You used to play for Peterborough. When you go to Sheffield Wednesday on Friday, do not feel too confident if you go 4-0 up, okay? That's my advice. Don't get overconfident. Russell, great to talk to you. Thank you very much.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.